And welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm so excited to talk to our next two guests. I'm joined by former state senators Chuck Chvala and Ted Kanavas. Welcome, gentlemen.
Great to be with you.
Happy to be with you.
Now, you guys do a web show on wisopinion.com, which is part of wispolitics.com, called The Insiders. Talk to us a little bit about how this show came about and who puts it together.
Well, Jeff Mayers approached me after Ted and I had actually done a session for him in Milwaukee before the last gubernatorial election. He said, you know, that works so well and you guys have such a rapport. Let's do something with this. And so we put something together, and Jeff had good leadership. Tracy Will does the production. And actually, it's been a fun thing. And Ted and I really get along, and I think it works well.
So how long has this been going, and who can see it? How do viewers get in to see it?
It's been about 6 to 8 months, and if you go to wispolitics.com, you know, there are all sorts of young people know how to get this, but if you just go to wispolitics.com and go to Wis Opinion, you'll be able to find it. And you can actually see the history of our shows, and there are some good ones. Most of the ones that I win, I'm very favorable on those. Ted has occasionally won on some of the debates. But if you do it, the nice thing is they're short.
Right.
So one of the things Mayers understands is you need to keep it short because people only want to listen to this for so long. So 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you can pick out a segment and enjoy it.
And that's what's really nice, and it's kind of addicting because it's almost instant gratification politics, and it's great. And I've actually found myself spending a lot of time on that website. So you know, obviously we're in a time, especially in our state, of unrelenting politics, partisanship, excuse me. But you two, I mean, when I watch your video, you really seem to genuinely like each other and you get along. So how do you guys engage in civil discourse if you're on opposite sides of the aisle?
Well, I think it's real easy. I mean, I think you can agree, but you can disagree honestly. You can agree honestly. And I think the biggest thing is respect. I mean, you have to respect the other side and where the other side is coming from. Politics is supposed to be about challenging each other.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's when it seeps into this name calling and this abuse and the whole Donald Trump, abuse factory kinds of stuff that it turns into a negative deal that is absolutely unsustainable.
And I think Ted got it right. We respect each other. We both, I think, have a good sense of humor about it. And I think we both know that we're being honest about what we're trying to communicate to the public.
Yeah.
Politics get too personal too quickly, it seems like, and you're able to kind of keep that out of there, and you have your personal relationship where you're friends, and then you also have the political part of it, which is great. So, give us an example here. I'm going to ask you a question. Now, what are your thoughts about Walker dropping out of the presidential race? Chuck,
well, he was dropping like a rock, and the debates didn't help him. He didn't have any money. I mean, there's probably a list of 6 reasons you could give why he's out. But the sad part for us in Wisconsin is he's back. He's back full time. That's a shame.
Well, the sad part is Chuck doesn't get his dream, which is a Walker presidency. That's the sad part, because Chuck, has been such an admirer of Governor Walker for such a long period of time.
We actually had a bet. I said he'd be out before, I think, the Wisconsin primary. Yeah. He didn't even make it to the first primary, so I won that one with Ted.
There you go. He got that one.
And by the way, we do a bet sometimes. We'll say, we'll make a bet. And then he gives to a charity of my choice if he loses. I give to a charity of his choice if he loses. But it's a great way to be able to keep score a little bit on what we predicted and what actually happened.
And keep each other in check, too. And
yes.
Oh, it's a blast. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We continue to make these bets on the show, probably one every other show, and keep track over time. We'll see how we do. I have no problem giving to porch lights, so that's great.
Right.
Well, I think that there should be a scoreboard somewhere on that website. That
yes, there we go.
That's right.
We should
add
a little
chalk drawing of like.
Good idea. Thank you.
So,
Chuck got this one. I got the last couple.
Yeah.
So as we're all aware, Russ Feingold is back, and he's challenging Ron Johnson for U.S. Senate. Talk to us. Who's going to win?
Yeah, well, I think Ron Johnson is an incumbent, and a lot of it really depends on the environment in the next year. The presidential election is going to frame the electorate. In Wisconsin, it's on year, off year. In an off year election, you have the governor and all that kind of stuff. In an on year election, you've got the presidency. So a lot of it's going to be defined by who comes to the polls. If it's a 3 million voter election, Ron Johnson's in trouble because then you're going to see a lot of low propensity voters come and they're going to vote for Russ Feingold in droves. The problem is that Russ Feingold isn't really loved. I mean, and you've seen it in the polling. He went from being really net positive to basically being back to even. He's going to probably drop below that pretty soon. So Feingold's going to have a tougher time than he thinks.
Sure.
Bottom line, high turnout next year. Russ Feingold wins probably by about 5 points, and this is one where we can bet, Ted.
Yeah.
I'll bet on Russ Feingold. You bet on Ron Johnson.
Done. That's done.
And I see it right here. I'm talking to the town.
I'll take Ron Johnson, but you got to promise me there's no more than 2.6 million votes.
Oh well, that's a different different story.
There's all kinds of stipulations here.
Well,
Chuck Chvala and Ted Kanavas, thank you so much for joining us. This was great. We got to have you back
a
sometime.
lot of fun anytime.
Thank you.
And that's all the time we have for Talk of the Town. We'll see you next time.